Welcome to the Living Field with David and Lily. Lily is running around here somewhere. Today we're going to talk about the chaotic node. What is a chaotic node? Well, we are living in a chaotic node, chaos, right now on the planet. Look at all the stuff that's going on, right? That is the reconfiguration of us going into a higher frequency. So there is a paradigm shift actively in place, and we could say that this shift has been happening for well over 100 years, but it is rapidly increasing, exponentially happening now. We are in that center point, which I call the chaotic node. And what I mean by that is when there's a frequency over here and a frequency over here, and we are shifting into a new frequency, in between the shift is this chaotic node. And, just take it easy. It is kind of disturbing and scary, with all the different technologies that are emerging right now that are going to facilitate this change, like AI and the reconfiguration of our system, our government systems, our religious systems. Yeah, the way how much we work in a week is going to change. Everything is changing. And that, my friends, is uncomfortable. And we are going into the unknown, and this is the unknown. We're like living it now, right, in the collective. Now, on a personal level, we also go through these shifts. We go through these vibrational upgrade shifts in our body. Yeah, I've experienced many of them, and I'm sure many of you have too, whether you're conscious of it or not. Yeah, these vibrational upgrades in our body create the same kind of chaos. Yeah, because the cellular structure in the body begins to shift and change, and more energy begins to flow. Yeah, our belief structure begins to implode, and that belief structure is tied to our nervous system, the fight or flight response, the sympathetic nervous system, and the parasympathetic nervous system. And we can choose to find techniques or use techniques to activate the parasympathetic nervous system when we are in this node. Also, I'll share some of those with you in a few minutes. Also, sometimes there's just nothing to do. We need to grieve. Yeah. Part of us is dying, and that part needs to be honored. And this is why, grieving is really important right now. Yeah. Because we have been living a lie. And it would seem like it would just be all bliss as we move out of separation and into unity, or into 5D consciousness, unity consciousness. But that transition period is very chaotic. And a lot of fear can start to rise up in us because we are moving into a place where we haven't been before. And it's freaking scary. It can be really intense. A lot of our fears of survival, yeah, and just fear of the unknown, having to change jobs or having to do something else, find a new purpose, But what I want to throw out there, though, is there's really nothing to fear because we are moving into this benevolent, super high frequency that is amazing. Yes, it's emotional. Yes, it's scary. But you're going to start feeling these points of joy and happiness and abundance as we move through the fear to unity. We begin to lighten up. Our new purpose, or an old purpose that is reset or renewed, begins to rise within us, and we begin to have the energy and the courage to move it towards that purpose. And that makes life way more fun and exhilarating and regenerating. Yeah. We begin to look at the uncomfortable as a sweet spot. Yeah. Of like this really beautiful nectar of unity. We begin to almost relish it. Yeah. Like, oh, wow, this is great. I'm uncomfortable. I feel the fear, but that just feeds me. It feeds me, and I go forward and I do what I want to do, what I'm here to do. I'm a piece of the puzzle. You're a piece of the puzzle. We are all pieces of the whole, and we all have a purpose. We may not have been living that purpose. Hey, I know. I've raised kids, children. I've had to survive. I've had to take some pretty crappy jobs along the way. And even if you have to take a crappy job or what you deem as a crappy job, you can make it into the best job ever if you just let go of the fear. Yeah, and bring that purpose, whatever it is, into whatever you're doing, wherever you are. Oh, man, it's going to be wonderful, and it is right now. We don't even have to wait anymore. And we can start to become conduits for this collective shift, yeah? Yeah, some days I am like a mess. I really am. I'm going through the changes, I'm going through the changes. I'm unsure if I'm good enough, or I'm unsure if I'm too old, if I'm too fat. I have all these doubts and fears around making videos and all these, am I good enough to talk about any of this, right? And I wrote a book, and the whole time I was writing the book, I would ask myself, man, I feel like a fraud. I'm writing all these really beautiful truths, and I haven't really quite embodied them yet. But it was through that process, you see, it was through that process of writing and beginning the embodiment process of just the language and talking about these higher truths, and how I am so hopeful for the human race. We're going to get through this, and it begins with me and it begins with you. We're going to do this together. Yeah, but it also is coming through us, through these vibrational upgrades. So we are constantly one foot into separation, one foot into unity, yeah, pulling ourselves, our bodies, and anyone that we can bring into this new vibration, and also at the same time having to navigate these extremely rough waters in our bodies, these chaotic nodes, yeah. And it's exponential, but it's also in layers. Every time we resolve beliefs, yeah, we raise our vibration, yeah. Our water in our bodies begins to vibrate at different frequencies. Our cells begin to vibrate at different frequencies. Our nervous system starts to wonder what the heck is going on and gets scared. And these beliefs begin to resolve and implode, these separation beliefs. And then that is the moment when we feel this chaotic node. And a lot of people experience it as depression or anxiety or grief or sadness. Yeah. All of those emotions are okay. It's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. I don't want to tell anybody to not feel it. Feel it, witness it, yeah. Take a look at it, and then move on. Yeah, that's not the story that needs to be fed anymore, yeah. That's why I can wake up and feel really, that's why sometimes I can wake up and feel really chaotic. I can feel really sad or feel really grief-stricken about what's happening on the planet. I'm unsure of what I'm doing sometimes. And I only let that be. I take a look at it. I feel the sadness. I feel the grief. And then I move into my day. And even if it's still with me, I can hold both of that. I can hold the grief of the old paradigm dying within me, and I can hold the joy and the abundance and the excitement of unity rising up within me. I can do both. It's not one or the other, yeah? We can all do both. And I want everyone to know that you can do both. You can have anxiety one minute, and then the next, you can hold a beautiful vision for yourself. You can have all the doubts and fears that arise. You can see them, you can feel them. You can follow them back to the origin seat of those doubts and fears. And at the same time, you can hold a higher frequency of hope and love and devotion and abundance and purpose and action towards your new life. Yeah. If we wait until we're completely all set and not dealing with all that other stuff, we're going to wait forever. We just need to jump in and do it now. That's it. It's pretty simple when you get right down to it. Yeah. We're humans. We got lots of feelings and emotions, and we've experienced lots of different failures and fears. And yeah. All right, so ride the waves through this chaotic node. The collective chaotic node should be lasting for a few years. It should start leveling out, though, and we're going to see some really big changes in our governments and the way that we, in our religious beliefs. We're going to see a lot of changes in the next few years. It's really a beautiful time to be alive, if you can ride the wave of chaos. Fly. I have a great day. Enjoy your day. Bye.